The Gibson Blues King, what did we say it was again? The LL?
L-00.
Okay. Gibson Blues King, the L-00. This the first reaction that I had to this guitar was kind of an eye roll. But you have to realize that the person that's sitting here with this guitar in his lap, I play pretty much just chords. I play notes, you know, every presidential election or so. And I never play slide. And so this may be a guitar that's more appropriate for a different style, but I just don't think it sounds that good. Especially since it lists 2,700 and some change. You can probably get it for less than that, like 1,800, maybe a little bit more than that. But it still just doesn't sound. It sounds like it just doesn't sound that great to me. I have a Takamine guitar, a 3/4 size one, and it sounds way better than this one. And I'm not in love with that guitar either. But it looks good. It's well made. It's got a spruce top, mahogany back and sides. Like most Gibson guitars, you can feel that it's solidly made. It's well braced. It's not like a cheap guitar, and it looks good and it plays nice, but it just doesn't sound very good, especially not for the price. And I'm sure there'll be other people that will say things like, well, if you raise the action and, you know, bust out the slide, it sounds great. I talked about this guitar a little bit with John Rauhaus. He plays the slide guitarist and on Bloodshot Records, plays slide and Hawaiian and stuff. And I mentioned this guitar to him, and he said the reason that these guitars weren't around that long, the reason that they're old guitars and they started reissuing them, the reason they weren't around, you know, perpetually is that they weren't very good. But he said if somebody were to take this guitar and play the hell out of it for 10 years, I mean, he's like, it might start sounding good. And I think maybe that's what we're talking about for this. Maybe as time goes on, like the Hummingbird that we've talked about, or about going to talk about, I don't know. You can smell the lacquer on this guitar. It's brand new. So that's another thing you have to think of when you're buying an expensive guitar is it's like buying a bottle of wine. It's not just what it is right now. It's what it's going to be in 10 years. You know, I know that's kind of tough when you're dropping, you know, putting down $2,000, but you do have to think of that. You do have to think ahead. If you're looking to, you know, it is like a bottle of wine. If you're looking to buy something to drink right now, you go down to the grocery store and spend $12. If you're, you know, looking to put something away for your 20th wedding anniversary, you maybe spend a little bit more. But it's also being able to tell. And, you know, I make no claim that I can 100% tell you that this is going to be a good guitar later. But if John Rauhaus says it's possible, then I believe him.